So, our first... You're not looking at me.
No. Just checking everything's okay. The sound.
Okay,
You
fine.
haven't got to organise anything.
Don't be...
I'm not. I'm just if it doesn't work, then what's the point in doing it? Crumbs everywhere.
I didn't know I was meant to leave this.
Sort this out. Okay. There we go.
Welcome to our new podcast, Marriage After the A Word.
An autism podcast.
With me.
With you.
And you. With me, Emily, and
Stuart.
And we're going to be talking all things about our autistic son, Noah, who's 4, and how it has impacted us as husband and wife.
And how we're still together.
Just. So, our first podcast, Marriage After the A Word. Can't believe we're actually doing it. Or what are we doing?
I can't believe I'm actually here right now. We nearly didn't actually.
No. I mean, who knows? It might be a complete flop, but from what we can see, there's nothing about autism and how it affects the parents and the relationship, and I think we've found it does a lot, haven't we? So
yes.
Hopefully, even if it just helps someone, and it might just be nice for us to actually sit down and chat, because that doesn't always happen either.
No.
So or maybe when I said about the idea of doing the podcast, everyone was like, yeah, do it, it'd be great, and I was like, does slightly fill me with dread that it might end up with us being divorced. Because
there was a lot of shouting before we actually
will
did
it
this,
just be a moan fest? Because definitely parenting an autistic child has taken our marriage to a different level, hasn't it?
Well, I like the fact that you've got a list. I haven't got anything.
I mean, that sums it up,
you've got
doesn't
ammunition.
It's been a really,
taken over our lives.
hard journey, hasn't it? And I think unless you're living it, and you just can't quite imagine what it's like day to day.
So how are we starting this then?
So, what do you mean, how are we starting it?
Well, as in, I thought we were going to do a little introduction and then there's going to be sections. No?
No.
Oh.
What are they then? What are these sections?
Well, I don't know. I thought you'd got it written down.
What, like what?
Fine.
You're meant to talk. I'm the only one talking.
Okay.
I've already told them, if you listen, that Noah's just turned 4, he's diagnosed autistic, and the focus of this podcast is on him, on our relationship. Okay. Because we feel that it's not spoken about. We do
actually love each other though, don't we? Let me just say that, because this is coming across as very combative. And we do actually like each other.
That's because you're so
I like
annoying.
you. Thanks.
I do love you though. So I think the main thing is parenting just hasn't been what we've expected.
No.
Or what we were expecting, has it?
It's definitely been a bit of a rollercoaster journey.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people are a bit scared to say that actually, it's not all sunshine and roses, and think that if you say actually it's really effing hard and it's been really difficult on us as well, and obviously it's really difficult for Noah, that it means you love your child less maybe, or you're not in a really happy marriage relationship. But actually I think it's just the realness of... Even the word is a bit scary, to me. What word? Autism. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the marriage word. That as well.
That's what I wondered.
Yeah, both. But
I think the unknown is scary, isn't it? And I think whereas I've come from I'm a teacher, so have come from that education background. So autism isn't necessarily scary to me, although it definitely was not scary maybe, but when I was what? I remember thinking early days and saying to you and Mum, do you reckon Noah's autistic? And it was kind of becoming more of a thing in my mind, wasn't it? And you were like, no. He'll get there, and eventually it will change, and it will happen, and this will happen, and that will happen, and it never really did it? No. Or it still hasn't, or it's still waiting, or things are progressing. Traditional milestones that you expect, and the sleep was the biggest one, isn't it? And we're still kind of going through that. Yeah, 4 years in. That hasn't been fun, and that definitely has had a big impact on us. Just not having any time together, evenings. What are evenings? No. He doesn't go to bed till really late. Away from him, have we? No, together, no nights away. Separate. Yeah. As in together, but separate from him. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that sleep has been tough. And also just everything is hard when you're sleep deprived. But yeah, fingers crossed, finally at the age of 4, sleep seems to be a little bit, doesn't it? Touch wood. Don't want to say it out loud. Last month. But yeah, take every night of sleep as a win. And you say it, but I don't think anyone really appreciates it. You can say, we've been up
5 or 6 times through the night, or he's been up for like 6 hours. Yeah. I'm always up. I'm always up.
Absolutely not true.
Just for the benefit of the camera, I'm always waking up.
I mean, anyone that knows us knows that I am always waking up. And Stuart wakes up in the morning, it's like, oh, he had a really good night last night, didn't he? And I'm like, are you actually kidding me? No, I was up about 500 times. But no, you are good. When it gets really tough, when Noah likes to do a little 4-hour all-nighter, you're there, which thankfully, otherwise I wouldn't be sane anymore. So no, sleep has been tough. And I think kind of the early days, like you're in the process of having this, everything's new anyway as a new parent, and you're in the process of working things out, and actually everyone has their opinion and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's normal, oh my child did that, and you're obviously like, it was our first child, so we just assume that what we're being told is right, but in your gut, or I definitely was like, I'm not sure this is just normal,
and you feel like you're not doing it right.
100%.
This is not how it should be.
Yeah.
But this is what we're living.
Yeah. And I remember we'd always say, or you'd say to me, like, surely this isn't what it's meant to be like. Surely it's not meant to be this hard.
And it is hard, isn't it? Like we have to be strong.
Oh, 100%.
To kind of get through it.
Yeah. Or we would 100% be divorced by now.
Well, we do definitely push each other.
Yeah. And also, like, let's be realistic. We have even considered, or Stuart more so than me, considered, he was like, should we break up so that we can part-time
I'm still all about that idea.
Great. I think
I would do every other weekend, and he would do with you for a little bit, mainly.
Except, realistically, you wouldn't do every other weekend.
You wouldn't be able to cope, would you? You wouldn't be able to cope without me.
Absolutely not. Well, no, I wouldn't be able to cope without Noah.
No, but you wouldn't be able to cope without me being there, because I do everything.
You keep the house running.
Exactly.
You don't do the Noah things, but you do everything else.
I do everything, mostly.
Yeah, but no, it has definitely been an interesting journey, that's for sure. And just as kind of we accept or learn to deal with one thing, something else comes along. And there's that saying, isn't there? This too shall pass. And I definitely...
What saying?
This too shall pass. Have you
I've
never
heard
heard that?
You've never told me that. What?
I love that saying. I think that's a
good
good saying.
What are you talking about? You've never mentioned that. You're trying to be high and mighty. What does that even mean?
No, I'm not being high and mighty.
That's very posh.
I'm pretty sure. It's not posh.
What even is it?
Maybe it's a mum thing. I don't know. But this too shall pass.
This dude.
Two.
This two.
This two shall... T-O-O. Two. Two shall pass.
You've never said that in your life.
I don't say it. I think it. And it's a saying which means, like, all the really difficult phases will pass. This too, as in this as well, will pass. You get it?
Yeah.
And I remember that when I'm wanting to die in the middle of the night because I've had no sleep and it's 2 a.m. and I'm having to rock this massive child and I'm boiling and I haven't slept and I just want to chuck myself down the stairs. That, I think...
I'm glad that he wants you at that point.
I think this too shall pass.
Because even if I go in there, he'll just wake up.
There you go. I'm going to say that more often now.
And then we'll go downstairs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think... If anyone listens to this podcast, lots of people will have heard.
Listen. They will have turned off by now.
This too shall pass. We shall. They're probably thinking this podcast too shall pass. So yeah, we will. I was thinking, because obviously, like everything with Noah really and our life, Stuart's like, right, what are we going to do? So I have tried to think about different things that we might cover over different episodes. So I was thinking, and when I shared these with my darling husband, you wouldn't listen, and
I do listen.
I think you were trying to just order a coffee machine, or buy a wing, or buy something fun. There was no listening. But things like support or lack of, and the fact that actually, lovely, we got no diagnosis, and then no support continues. There's nothing, is there? So
support
actually,
is bad, isn't it? It really is.
So
bad.
I think maybe we'll do a little episode on that. Sleep, which we've touched on, because that's definitely been one of the biggest impacts on us individually and our relationship and Noah and just life.
Our life, us
our
having a life.
Yeah,
you never have
and
a
the
life.
fact that we don't
just
really have
Noah.
one. And zero time for us. Maybe another child, and the kind of
maybe
last month you're like, maybe. We've never got to maybe before. Maybe because now Noah is sleeping slightly. But I think that's actually a really important topic, because I definitely think something on the Instagram page, actually, someone asked me, oh, will you ever have another child? And I kind of said, like, oh, my heart says yes, my head says don't be mad, but actually so many people...
How would we cope? I don't think
exactly.
we'd be able to cope, would we?
But, well,
don't
we
think
would
we
cope,
could
people
cope.
cope, and we would cope, but it's not about coping, is it? Like, we definitely have, for the
It is
last
about
4
coping.
years,
We've been coping. We've literally-
surviving rather than thriving. But
Definitely haven't been doing any thriving.
agreed. Starting school is coming up this year. So in September, Noah
scary
starts
as well,
school.
isn't it?
Obviously, that's a massive topic, so we can look at that. We've done the HCP, so Noah's got one of them. Hopefully, he can share some tips on that because it's a big ball game. And now
5 days a week, he goes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, and also like currently, obviously, the government talking about scrapping EHCPs for mainstream, super scary, and also removing tribunal for parents, which is, Stuart will have no idea what that
what
even
are you
means.
talking about?
But fills me with anxiety and dread.
Tribunal?
Tribunal, which
What is
basically,
that?
if you, so the
So
local
you don't
authority,
tell me all these things.
well, you don't listen.
I do always listen.
I mean, you absolutely don't, because I
This is the first time. Again, what tribunal?
tribunal, if you listen,
Isn't that for when someone gets fired or something? That's a tribunal, isn't it?
I mean, maybe. Tribunal is court. And if you just listen a minute, I'll tell you what it is. So the local...
I'm all ears.
Gosh, you're so annoying. I'm so glad that people can see what I have
Hopefully
to
they
put
won't
up with.
actually see.
Right, listen. Tribunal is where the local authority has
You don't need to
given
talk,
Noah
just
an
talk to me
EHCP.
nicely, not we're being recorded.
Has given Noah an EHCP. So say we weren't happy with the contents of the EHCP or the placement, then you would go to tribunal to get it overturned, hopefully.
I don't even really know what that term means, EHCP.
It
All I
means a
know is
plan
that's the plan that he
supports a
goes to
child.
school with.
Yes, exactly. And children can have them in
What does it stand
nursery.
for? What does it stand for?
Education, health, care plan. So that ensures that his needs are all written down and the provision that's needed to meet those needs is on a legal document, so that, and that's until he's
So he gets the
25.
support at school.
Yeah. So that's,
And that's
really
been
important.
quite difficult to get as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Which I've spent hours trying to sort out.
You've done hours of that, haven't you? I don't know how you have coped.
I know,
But,
very stressful.
and we actually, to be fair, have had quite a nice, easy, well, not easy ride of it, but it's so much worse for a lot of families. So thank goodness it actually went okay for us.
Well, it has helped that you know a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So,
probably.
I'll give you that.
But there's some luck involved as well, I think. And then also Noah, obviously his diagnosis of ARFID, so avoidant restrictive food intake disorder.
Big issue.
That's
isn't
another big issue, and I feel like that actually has had a massive impact on us, because just that underlying anxiety every day, every waking minute of, has he got enough calories, like this actually could be life or death.
There's a plane going, you probably hear that, it's going around and doing loop-the-loops behind you.
Lovely.
Sorry.
That'll look nice.
Well, they might be able to hear it, so I thought I'd just mention it, and it looks quite cool.
That sums your brain up right there. So autism, that's quite a good point actually. Autism actually came quite a shock, didn't it, to us, because there is no diagnosed neurodiversity in our families.
No.
Although since Noah's been diagnosed, we've diagnosed my father-in-law, haven't we? Yeah. We're pretty sure he's autistic, and actually Stuart's mum's like, yeah, that makes way more sense. But kind of low support needs. And actually, I now wonder if Stuart maybe.
Well, maybe.
Maybe. Just, and like how your brain there, like ADHD, like as in,
well, it's all for the
we're
audio,
talking, focusing, and then you're thinking about the audio and all the plane that's doing the loopity-loops.
Well, if the audio's not right, no one's going to be able to listen to it, are they?
Very true, Stuart House, very true. Yeah. So yeah, and then the fact that, and just meltdowns, like that probably, I would say actually that maybe is the one that has the biggest impact on our relationship, because they are just so stressful, aren't they? And like when he's just in complete dysregulation and meltdown, you always not attack the person closest to you, but as in Noah like is hardest for us, isn't he?
Yeah.
But then equally we're the ones supporting him, but then we're hardest on each other, because in that situation it's just so stressful. So that has been
real stressful.
Yeah, and also
probably the worst,
because there's not really anything you can do, and you've just got to be there for him and support him, and actually you just want to make it all go away. I find that really hard, and I like that can turn me into the evil definitely towards you.
Daily. And you just don't listen to me then either.
Pardon?
You don't listen to me.
I mean,
when you're in that evil, I don't even know whether we're allowed to swear. Can we swear?
of course we can swear.
Can we?
We are
that evil stage. You just don't listen.
I mean,
And a front comes and you're like, I'm just not going to listen to anything that I say.
I mean, that's
So
actually...
that's when I ask you loads of questions.
I mean, you ask everyone loads of questions. Anyone that knows Stuart, just ask consistent, annoying
And then you say,
questions.
use your own brain.
Yeah.
But in that moment, you're like, you are the devil. And I can't even talk to you.
Not true.
Yes, you are. And if anything that I say, you're like, use your own brain. You use this. But the problem is, it's your way or the highway. And I ask you, what would you like me to do? And your number one response, do you want to know what your number one response is? You already know.
I should know.
Use your own brain.
That's because if I've got one child who's having a meltdown, I don't need you asking me incessant questions. And I actually find it quite hard to regulate myself in that situation. So, no, I'm probably not a ray of sunshine. What I don't need is you saying, what do you want me to do? And then doing, when I tell you what I want you to do, apart from use your own brain, you do the complete opposite.
But sometimes it's better if I'm just remove myself.
So, yeah, that's Stuart's favourite thing to do in a meltdown. He's like, right, I'm going to go in the other room and leave you to be headbutt and attacked by our 4-year-old. And I'll go sit in the other room, watch some telly, have a little coffee, and then I might text you saying...
Otherwise, you're shouting at me, swearing, kicking the floors, headbutting the ceiling.
I mean, I've never headbutted the ceiling or kicked the floor.
That's what it feels like.
Can we just say that is a lie?
No, it's what it feels like.
But have I ever?
Physically. Not physically.
Never physically headbutted or kicked anything or anyone.
In the situation is like that. And it makes me feel about this small.
This here is a little bit about why I was worried about doing this podcast and why it might end in divorce. Because is this just you going to be telling me everything I do wrong?
It isn't a complaint. Because you do a lot of things right.
Oh, okay, we're getting back on a nice track here. I'm just crying.
Yeah, why are you crying?
I mean, I've just got a hay fever, I think. Yeah, so we will talk all about those different topics, won't we, in different episodes, if we continue doing these. And
the sleep, ARFID.
Let's not go back over them all.
Well, no, I was just naming them.
Oh, okay, go for it.
To jog my mind. Sleeping, big problem. Eating, ARFID, big problem. Noah only eats 2 things.
Yep, joy.
What was the other ones? Meltdowns.
Like I said, I'm not going through them all again. Yeah.
3, and then there was one more, wasn't
There's
there?
loads more.
Okay, fine.
EHCP, starting school, having another child, not accessing support.
Okay, fine.
Tons of things.
Okay, at least you've got them written down.
That's for them coming up. Don't you worry. I've got a little note on my phone. But yeah, I think if we are really wanting to share, because actually, why not? But we, or I, because Stuart doesn't necessarily enter into it all, but have found...
I'm here. I'm entering into everything.
I mean, this was your idea, bizarrely. But talking to other families that have been through it, really, really helpful. Because essentially, I mean, it's near on impossible to get any professional support.
And when he does get a diagnosis or something, it just seems to finish. Like there isn't actually
they're all like diagnostic only services. That's their favourite thing to say, which is not their fault at all.
So it like ticks the box. Noah is autistic.
Yeah.
But then what?
And then it's have this nice booklet
have this 50-page document which I'm never going to read. Haven't got time.
Probably you've never even opened it.
No,
you haven't. Let's not lie.
But no.
But yeah.
Okay,
so actually, like, I think also what's really difficult is when it's professional support. Obviously, there's a massive place for that, and we have been really lucky to work with some really helpful professionals, pretty much all that we've paid for rather than through the NHS. But I think the people actually living it, you get more from, because actually, in this situation, maybe you're meant to do X, Y, Z, but when you're actually in that situation,
you feel
9 times out of 10, X, Y, Z doesn't work.
No, and you feel real lonely, and like it's literally like us against the whole world.
100%, yeah.
And everybody who we know can't relate, and it's like.
And like that's not their fault, is it? Like they definitely try and relate, and like we absolutely adore our friends and family.
A lot of support, but
they
still don't know.
You're not there when
I'm
it's.
Gonna have some of your drink.
Oh right, you're not there when it's like 3 a.m. in the morning and you haven't slept, and Noah's having a meltdown, and you're getting beaten up basically by your child. It's hard and it's lonely. So hopefully, us talking is actually important and helpful for us, but also sharing that with other families in the same situations.
It's just like massively up and down, a roller coaster
of emotions and stress.
You never feel like you're doing a good job, really.
No, that is very true.
You just feel like
you're just about coping.
And then there'll be something, and then you'll be rock bottom, and it'll be like, depressed. Like,
Yeah.
why is this happening to me? And like, yeah, really,
Yeah.
really.
And I think you have to kind of, or the way, obviously everyone deals with it differently, but for me, it's like, actually, I just don't think about that too much, and I'm more
in the moment,
like trying to proactively think, what can I do to not solve this issue, but as in not know as an issue, sorry, but I mean like solve the issue of going to school, like what's that going to look like, solve the issue of not eating, how
there's just
can I
so
support
many hurdles,
that,
isn't there?
and there's
So
lots
many...
of plates to spin, isn't there?
Yeah.
But yeah,
And you
but
sort of
also
spin
like
one and then
in
another
some
one will fall down.
respects, like I couldn't imagine Noah not being Noah, and him and our life not being with Noah, and like, so I definitely couldn't imagine it being different to that. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't change and take away a load of the difficulties he has, because it's, for us it's difficult, but actually the really important thing here is that for Noah it's insanely hard.
And you sort of, not you personally, but you kind of forget that. You think about you, but he obviously finds it really difficult. And he wants to communicate, and he wants to
eat,
be
not be
involved,
scared of food,
and it's like, yeah.
And I find like the unknown of what's going to happen next, and what is our life going to look like in 5-10 years, what is Noah's life going to look like in 5-10 years, how's he gonna cope when he is an adult.
I don't think about it.
Whereas you don't think about that.
I don't know how somebody would cope if they didn't have your kind of bald-headed kind of mentality.
Bald-headed? What is that?
No, not bald-headed. Like, what do I want to say? Like, you literally are on it the whole time, and you've done this and done that, and we've got this and we've got that, but I don't even know what some of the words mean.
No.
Let alone like. So
I think, unfortunately, when you're thrust
me
into this
and
life,
Noah we're very much appreciative of that.
Oh, thanks. Oh, maybe we won't divorce.
No, maybe not.
Maybe we will last.
But I don't know how someone who doesn't have a clue, like if it was just me.
I think you find out though. You'd find out, wouldn't you? You just are like, oh, fabulous! I've got Emily to do all of that. Whereas if you didn't,
Yeah, but I do all the other stuff.
I'm not saying you don't. This wasn't an attack.
Okay, well,
you just said I don't know what I do.
Just have to justify my.
You don't need to justify. But if
otherwise, we'll be doing the separate thing.
You have to find out, don't you? Like when people say like, oh, I don't know how you cope, I don't know how you do it. You don't have a choice. What am I going to do if I don't cope? Like you literally have to cope. And also like when Stuart, or like for sleep, for example, Stuart's like, oh, I'd have given up an hour ago. It's like, yeah, but what happens then? We're all up for the whole night. Like we can't give up, because otherwise he will just stay awake. So it's just about,
and that's what happens when I come in.
Exactly. So that's why I do bedtime. But yeah,
I did bedtime last night.
Yeah.
It was very good. You went out, didn't you?
I mean, that literally never happened, does it? Let's be honest. But yeah, I did, which was lovely.
But he wasn't asleep in his bed.
No, he wasn't
upstairs.
asleep in his bed, but he did conk out on the sofa, basically because he'd had melatonin. Otherwise, that would not have happened.
Well, he's happy. Didn't
yeah, he was
cry
happy.
Too much. I thought that was successful.
Result that his own dad could get him to fall asleep on the sofa, which I mean that never happens. That's just a little insight, isn't it, into life.
And we're hopefully going to try and go out for the evening, and your parents are going to have him, but
yeah,
basically he just doesn't like anyone else putting him to bed.
Well, it's not even. I don't even know if it's that. It's the routine element, isn't it? Like he is so set on routines and things happening a certain way, and because he doesn't have that understanding of language, of course he's not going to like it when something changes.
It's like when he goes to grandparents, you have to go out of the house.
Yeah.
Like you go drive in 5 minutes, and I have to.
Yeah, whenever I go, it keeps happening. This morning, right? So I always just go up the road, because if my car's there, Noah just won't go.
I have to do every handover and nursery.
Apart from when you're working and can't, and then who does it? Emily, mummy. So
generally 80-90%.
Yeah, you do. That's your one job right now.
My one job. See?
One Noah job. Can I just tell my story?
Okay.
Well, you've ruined it now, actually. It's not even interesting. No. So when I do my little...
All the one person that's probably your mum.
When I do... She probably doesn't know how to access a podcast. When I do my little drive up round the corner, I keep parking outside this guy's house, because it's like round the corner. Noah won't be able to see when he goes off with grandparents. And every time he keeps coming home when I'm parked there, and I think he thinks, who is that woman? He keeps giving me really odd looks.
Well, it probably is a bit weird. You keep
Yeah, I know, and there I am just reading my book, having a nice little well-being 5 minutes so that we can get Noah to actually leave the house. But yeah, so I think
I get him to leave.
But Stuart House,
I have to do everything.
Who has packed his bag?
Me?
Who has got him up? Me.
Me.
Who has ordered a transition toy?
Who comes down every single morning while you're upstairs sleeping? Me.
Not since he sleeps. And not every day I'm at work.
I'm always getting up, so you're sleeping.
I mean, when he hasn't slept all night, lucky me, I have a little 7 till 8 a.m. sleep.
We've just said he's been sleeping.
Yeah,
he's been sleeping very well.
Then I haven't been napping in the morning.
Sorry.
No, I haven't. I've been at work.
That's your lying little chuckle.
I've had a few naps, okay.
We're surviving, yeah?
Surviving, not thriving. Maybe that's what we should have called the podcast. Believe what you think.
Right, what's the next topic?
No, we're not doing different topics this episode. What bit of that don't you get?
Oh, okay.
We could talk about diagnosis, I guess.
Really
that might be helpful.
We haven't talked about us.
I mean, I feel like all you've done is talk about us. What do you want? What about us?
Well, how we cope or don't cope.
Yeah, we have. You let me sleep in the mornings. That's the important part of me coping.
Yeah.
How do
you let me cope?
Go out and do what you want the whole time.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
When was the last time I did something that I wanted to?
I mean, you bought something you wanted yesterday.
That's not me doing.
I think that is actually how you cope. Amazon Prime. Literally, delivery after delivery of
We're still not talking about coping.
That is coping. Amazon Prime, I think that's how you cope. Scroll, buy that,
isn't
buy
an
that,
advert
buy that.
for them, by the way. Even though it is very good, because I don't even have to leave the house.
Well, exactly.
And then it comes, and also if I don't like it, I can return it for free.
Do all your little returns. Diagnosis, we could talk about that and like our journey to diagnosis and how we as parents found that different. That might be helpful.
I do feel like it is a little bit easier now than what it was. I think maybe because
Well, I'm sleeping. You have actually that
isn't
jokes
true.
aside.
I just think that I'm not there. I just don't hear anything.
Wasn't actually,
and I have every night's sleep. Every day I'm up.
Stuart,
in the morning.
Every day. That's just normal. People get up in the morning. That's what happens.
All right, what's your
Point
next
proven.
point?
Oh, funny that we're ready to move on to the next point now. My next point, as I've said lots of times, is diagnosis. When we started to think that Noah might be autistic. Go on. What did you notice?
I try and block it out. I try and not think about it.
I mean, that really makes for great content.
Sorry. Yeah.
Silence. That sums up living with you.
Okay, well, I just
block it out. Just block it out. Don't talk about it. What?
Sometimes that's best. Okay, so it was about...
Come on, dad perspective, because that's important, because it's always the mums.
9 months. Well, he was eating. Do you remember that time when he was, like, eating in his high chair?
Not normally, but yeah.
Well, he started to, and then he was, like, spitting it out, and then...
Well, no, to be fair, eating-wise,
At the table, he just would have massive meltdowns, so he doesn't sit... We just don't have meals, do we, together? Like, and still don't. He eats two types of food, but... I don't know, there's just a lot
But diagnosis to being autistic, like, what was it, like, when he was a little baby?
Again, I didn't want to admit
you were about admitting, weren't
wrong, you? Or, like, he was different, or that our situation was different. I guess I just wanted, like, a, what's the term? Typical child who is neurotypical and does normal things, and
I think that's what we've kind of imagined, isn't it? Because we didn't have...
If I'm being serious, I'm still juggling
coming to terms with the acceptance of the fact that actually he's not neurotypical. I think
I'm more accepting of it.
Yeah, you are very accepting.
A bit more aware of it, but do I want him to sort of have it? Probably not. No, but I guess it's just tough. Like, some days I think, I'm really doing this and, like, it's good, as in, like, parenting. And then other days you just think, Jesus Christ. Like...
Stuart's favourite saying for a while was, why have we done this?
Yeah.
Why does anyone want to be a parent?
But it was so... Like, literally, some days you don't even... I can't even wipe my bum without him being there.
People don't want to know about your bowel habits.
No, but I mean, like, like, even just just to have a minute to sit on the sofa and not do anything.
Can you just, and don't be your annoying self,
What
just
are you
be
going to
honest.
say?
Default parent
Me?
who Noah always wants and needs.
Me?
Okay, you're not being serious. Me, let's be honest.
In the night time.
I mean, the whole time. You do have way more freedom than I do. Like, you many times have been out at bedtime.
4 times?
No, not 4 times. Haven't you? And like, do at least have that freedom. No, like you will
Not
go
all the time, though.
No, of course. No, but you could. Like, as in, if you were to go to the pub and see your friends, like, it wouldn't be an issue because bedtime's me. If Noah's poorly, it isn't you he wants, it's me. If Noah's in a meltdown, sure, it goes in the other room. But partly because who he wants is me. So actually, I can't remember why I started saying that, but it was because you were saying about wiping a bum on your own. Like, I think that is actually a massive impact on our relationship too. The fact that, like, you would often say, and still do to be fair, like, oh, like, why does he always want you? Why can't I help? Or there's nothing I can do, I feel useless. Bit less lately, actually, you don't say that so much now.
Should I do more?
No, but as in, like, what, like, you definitely felt, didn't you, that you couldn't support in the same way that I can.
Well, I still can't, really. Like, if he's having a massive meltdown, you're the one that needs to come and sort it out.
But how does that make you feel?
Great.
What? What do you
I just give them to you and then go away.
Well, that's what I would feel like, but I thought you were like, oh, it makes you feel like sad, and
Well,
you did definitely say that.
Make me feel a bit like second best.
Or like, you would be like useless, you said, didn't you? Like, makes you feel useless that you can't do anything right.
But that's why I'm always asking you questions.
I mean, even before Noah, the questions are just draining. But I totally get, like, how you would opt to have a neurotypical child, and maybe that's a really awful thing to say, but it's not that I wouldn't want a child who is autistic. I think it's everything that comes with autism. Like,
And
actually,
also
I love the way he sees the world, in the fact that, like,
I had a really
notices-
important point then, and you just talked over me. But it's fine.
Well, actually, I was talking and you butted in, but carry on.
Sorry.
I'll
Go
stop.
on. No, go on.
Will you
Because
remember
I've
it?
kind of forgotten that.
Oh, what a surprise.
It
So
was
I
very
was
important.
saying
Go on.
that I do love the fact that he's autistic, in the fact that he sees things that different people don't. Like, he notices details. Like, he's hilarious, isn't he?
Super
He is hilarious.
Every single minute
And like
detail.
memory, like certain things, I'm like, wow, kid, you're actually really clever. But like, then
He just can't express-
he can't express it. But hopefully in time, like, he
And he's
will
saying a
find
few more
ways
words,
to be able
isn't
to
he?
express himself. Oh, he is, like, and actually, like, yeah, traditional milestones absolutely isn't meeting them on like a normal time frame. But for him, he is making massive developments, which is amazing to see.
Yeah.
And you just lose sight of that amongst all the challenges, I think. And as we kind of spoke about earlier with spinning plates, like, there are so many kind of areas where he has really quite high support needs. So
I'm surprised that we're actually like living and breathing and surviving.
yeah, ditto. Because actually, all the things that kind of just come with being human, Noah finds challenging: eating, sleeping, talking, coping with the
Going out
sensory
the house,
world.
like, we just sometimes can't even, can we, like,
Often. Yeah,
doesn't eat,
but I
we're worrying.
100% think that, I mean, it's great that there's so much more openness about neurodiversity now, and people are talking about it, like, that's so healthy. Inclusion will come on massively, because actually
And that's what we kinda want,
understanding,
isn't it? Like,
and
if-
that's the whole point of Journey to Autism, the page, is that actually we want to share awareness and advocate for autistic people, because the world does need a neurodiverse population. So I wouldn't change that he's autistic, but I 100% would take away loads of his challenges. But I feel like if we took away Noah being autistic, he wouldn't be Noah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because actually, like, all of
can't
his
really
crazy
even
little
think
ways.
of a life without him. Like, literally, I can't.
Oh my god. Well, he's all encompassing, isn't he? Like,
We
he
have
is
to
our whole
think
life.
about him constantly.
Yeah.
Has he eaten? Has he drunk? Has
And I
he
think that's
been
probably
to the
just having a
toilet?
child.
But
yeah, it is different when it's Noah, because like with other children, you can pass those care needs to someone else. But I think with Noah, like, as in to like nursery, grandparents, friend, auntie. But with Noah, like, you can do that to a point, but only within very specific remits and like parameters, and for only a certain amount of time. And actually, quite often we find, don't we, that we do pass that over to someone, and then we definitely deal with the backlash when he comes home and yes, he's been fine all day,
We'll see
but
how
then
he is
he's like
later today.
completely dysregulated. And sometimes that's just because actually, well, we're guessing. Everything's a guessing game, isn't it, with Noah?
That is it. You're always trying to second guess and be like one step ahead of what he is thinking
But I
and
think,
how
like,
he is.
yeah, sometimes it's like the sensory experience, and like that's just been too much.
And
He's
he may
overwhelmed. Sometimes he's
display
starving.
as like super on top of the world and really happy, and then
Crashes.
what's really quite annoying is my parents will go, oh, he's great and he's had a good time, and
Not just your parents.
No, but and he has, and then he'll come here and literally he will lose his and will out
And screaming.
and it's just.
And that's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I think like that will resonate, or from like me talking to other families with autistic children or children with an additional need, like that resonates, because actually it might be that they're coping all day in school. And I think we will definitely find this. I mean, I think Noah coping in school will look different to some, but as in he will be one Noah in school and then comes home and it's like, I can't cope anymore. You're my safe space. Wow. And it's like a different child. And definitely like in my professional role as well, I have so many families coming to me, and it's like when I'm talking about their child, it's like I'm talking about a different child to their own. And I'm like, it's not that I don't believe you. I understand that children can present totally differently at home and in school. But yeah, it's just, and like the world is a tricky place for Noah to live, because everything is overwhelming and he has lots of different needs, and it's just been definitely a really challenging but also amazing 4 years being parents. And like I absolutely adore being a mum and love.
I don't know whether I'd quite say amazing.
Well, it has. I love being Noah's mum, and I think it's amazing that he's our child.
Yeah, I love being his dad, but amazing.
Well, you don't have to think it's amazing, but I do. Like,
okay.
I do think it's amazing being a parent and having those experiences. That doesn't take away from the fact, a word before that, I said it's also challenging and like the hardest thing we've ever done.
Yeah.
But yeah, we shall see what the next week has in store for us, and who knows what we'll talk about next week. But if there's things that you'd like us to talk about, then let us know. You can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Spotify, on our Instagram page. So subscribe, follow us, give us a like if you found it in any way interesting, funny. Who knows what we are. But yeah, hopefully it might help someone. And if it doesn't, we just won't film any more episodes. But yeah, thanks and goodbye.
Happy dreams, love's repairs.